Bit of an exclusive. This is your first look at the Nothing Phone 2, which looks a lot like the Nothing Phone 1, but you guys have heard a lot of the hype, you've seen some of the teasers, so let me show you what I am allowed to show you of what's new. So this is the Phone 1 here with the glyphs and the lights on the back, and this is the Phone 2. Slightly tweaked design, definitely nothing dramatic at first glance here since they're trying to establish their visual design as a young company. You know, you can't go dramatically changing it every time, but same shapes, slightly lighter gray, slightly more rounded glass actually on the back. But we'll get to all that in the full review video of this phone. For now, in this exclusive, I can show you what's actually new with the glyph interface, the actual lights on the back. So first of all, Nothing Phone 1 had 5 strips of white LEDs with this pattern. With this new one, the shapes are in the same place, but there are some tweaks. You can see the arc around the camera is split into 2 strips, and the big one in the middle is now separated out into 6 pieces. These are all still white LEDs, no color or RGB or anything crazy, but the main improvement is actually just that there are more addressable LED zones inside of each of the strips, which is kind of fun. So you probably remember you could already use the bottom exclamation mark as a charging progress indicator. That does still work. So before, the entire back of the phone had a total of 12 different LED lighting zones controllable by the software. This new one has a total of 33 across the back, and just this strip up here at the top gets 16 to itself. So it's much more precise and granular, and so they've designed some features actually around using that as a progress indicator. So there's a volume indicator now. So when you have media playing, it literally just shows your volume level, and as you move it up and down, you can see that light go up and down with it. There's a glyph timer built in, so you can set a timer to a predetermined length of time using the UI, then flip the phone over to start the timer, and you can see it slowly rolls down through the LEDs to count down and give you a visual indicator of when the timer will be over. I kind of like this one for working. Those of you who use the Pomodoro technique will probably find this useful. And there's also plans for this to be addressable by third parties. So you can imagine, so Uber and Zomato are the only 2 that are signed up right now, but kind of the same way Apple had to get developers on board with their live activities in iOS. Same idea. You can imagine waiting for an Uber and turning the phone down and sort of seeing the progress of when the car gets closer and closer until it arrives. Things like that. Ideally, they can get more on board for things that just make sense for progress bar stuff. Now, you might remember last time I was specifically asking for more customization stuff so I could tell what app I was getting a notification from without flipping the phone over. This is still all white LEDs, so there's no colors or anything like that, but there is one new feature called Essential Notifications, where basically if you have a certain app that's important to you that you get notifications from, it'll stay lit up in this corner strip, and this stays lit until that notification is addressed. So it's not fully customizable, like I can't assign a different app to each of the different lighting zones, but for at least this one app, you'll always know when you've got a notification from it. And then they also added this neat little glyph composer, so if you want to literally design your own ringtone, you can go full DJ mode. So that is your first look at the glyph update on the back of the new Nothing Phone 2. Still sort of like on the borderline between gimmick and useful for a lot of people, but it is at least a little bit more customizable. And you'll have to get subscribed to see all the rest of the new stuff with this phone, so that you'll know what I've been finding in my testing. That's coming up. The sub button is below, of course. But that's been it. Thanks for watching Dope Tech. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.